Hey everyone, Mike and Aubrey here from Simplify Abroad, and if you're new to our channel, we are a family of 6 with 4 dogs that moved from the United States to Valencia, Spain. We just kind of do videos on places we've seen, maybe things we've taken our kids to do overseas, some differences about life since we've lived in Europe for almost, I guess, just over 2 years now, 3 years now. And I guess for today, we have been pretty lucky to hit a lot of Spain up. So we've seen a lot of different parts of Spain. And today we actually wanted to talk up north, so northern Spain. I don't think it gets enough love, personally. I love northern Spain. Yeah. And I always seem to see people mention, you know, Malaga or Alicante or Sevilla or stuff like that. And today we want to talk about Bilbao in particular. If I'm not mistaken, I think Bilbao is the largest city in northern Spain. And the big thing for us was that we had $20 round trip tickets from Valencia directly to Bilbao. We didn't have to stop in Madrid or anything like that. And we took just our oldest daughter. So it was just the 3 of us for once. It was it was a nice trip, to be honest, just to have so few of us. And the thing that caught us off guard right away was how green northern Spain was. I think you'll hear like Spaniards kind of complain like, oh, it rains so much up there and stuff. We'll touch on that a little later. But being from Hawaii, I am having a hard time with how little it rains in Valencia and just the lack of greenness. And there actually is some green in Valencia, don't get me wrong. It's not like it's not green, but it does feel more desert-like than like lush-like to me. Where Bilbao, I mean, you step off the plane, it's just like rolling green hills. It's really, it feels like you're in a different country, and it's just the easiest way to put it. But I want to touch on that real quick. Really cheap round trip tickets. So a lot of places in Spain you get really cheap tickets for. So I think about like 20, 25 bucks round trip on Vueling. I'm pretty sure we flew. I think it was Vueling. And then just how green it was. Just after seeing like desert, I won't say desert, but like desert-like conditions for how many years straight. It was just wild to like, it kind of reminded me a lot of Hawaii, I would say. So, really cute place, but I think we had a favorite town. What was your favorite town?
My personal favorite, and I'm gonna probably butcher it, but it's called Getxo.
Yeah, I think that's right.
And it's just right outside the city. I think we took the metro. Is the metro or the tram? I can't remember, but we took it right outside the city, and it is so cute. We ended up spending quite a bit of time there, and it's right near the beach too. So we ended up going there, and we walked around the town. I think we even went to the bookshops. We went to go get coffees and ice creams, and you know, it's a really, really nice town. It still felt like you're part of the city, but it was like the closest nice pueblo, I guess, next to a bigger city that I've seen.
If it was even 12 minutes away from the main metro, like dead center of the metro, I'd be shocked. Like it was really
beautiful,
close.
Very calm. And then we ended up walking through the little town, and then we went down to the beach as well. But honestly,
that was pretty nice.
If I could pick somewhere to move, it would be there. It is so cute, and I don't know if enough people kind of talk about it or know about it, but it is adorable. It would be my hands down #1 place to go.
It's expensive. That's one thing we should warn you about the north. We have noticed some of not all towns, like we're going to do some other videos on Oviedo, Gijón. There are some cheaper areas, but like Bilbao, certain parts are pretty pricey because they do have, I think, better salaries and stuff there. San Sebastian, I think it's the most expensive or like second most expensive behind either Barcelona or Madrid.
Probably.
That's only like an hour drive from Bilbao. So again, some of the northern towns are very expensive. Some aren't as expensive, but this particular one, Getxo, I think I was saying it correctly. It is pricey, but it is really nice.
But even just to take a little, I think, couple-hour trip out there and just go walk around, it's something I would definitely put just on like a to-do list if you ever are there.
Yeah,
I do think it's really nice and worth a visit.
100%. We loved it. Our oldest daughter loved it. Like I said, we got to walk through the town. I think she bought like a couple books, some books there. They have little playgrounds as you're walking through it. Really, really cute area. 100%. As for me, I guess I wanted to touch on this just for the first time. We stayed in a hostel for the first time. We did not know it was a hostel. We're just not used to have, like, we usually have to book for like 7 people. And so we had a private room, but we got there and it's like a really nice hostel right in the middle of Bilbao. And had a pretty good breakfast and stuff, nothing crazy, but it was like $8, you know, and it was just a normal Spanish breakfast, all you can eat type of thing. And I guess the only thing I would say is just like, I don't know what I thought my version of hostels was going to be. I don't know, maybe because I'm too old. I didn't travel in my 20s, you know, backpacking through Europe or something. Like, it was fine.
It was absolutely fine.
Yeah, like it was pretty clean. It was pretty like well kept. People were pretty respectful. You clearly got to choose if you wanted to be in a shared room or a private room. Our private room even had a bathroom. There were some that didn't have a bathroom, that you just like had a bathroom down the hall from us.
We had like a little living area too. So we had like a little sitting area, and then we all were in the one bedroom. But I mean, yeah, it was comfortable. It was cozy. Not like we weren't on top of each other. It was cheap. And
I thought what was really cool is they did like a little, we'll call it a soiree. What do you call it? Like they had a little get together.
Like
like every night was something different for the people staying at the hotel, and they did it downstairs.
I think it was catered towards like obviously single travelers or even like younger people, because they did the trivia. They were doing like even they had like
a meet
games.
and greet.
Yeah, it was really
they
cool.
had like alcohol for like $2, like a glass or something of wine, so you could like meet and greet type of people.
That was neat, and the location was fantastic.
Perfect location. So you know, we'll maybe put a picture of it up here. I think we took a picture of the outside of it. But pretty cool hostel. I can't complain. The location, as Aubrey said, was perfect. And we got our own private room. Again, other people had shared rooms, stuff like that. But like, honestly, no big deal. And we took our oldest daughter to it, and we were pretty happy with it.
Yeah.
So yeah. What was that activity we did that?
So
I think we went
we took I guess it's like a little tram, but we took that up to the top of their, I guess, mountain that kind of just like overlooks a city.
Big hill.
It's a giant hill, basically. But we did that, and we went. When did we go? Was it the summer?
It was. Yeah.
It was during the summer. We did escape the heat from here as well. And we were able to go up to the top of the mountain, and on the top of the mountain is so cute. It's just like a park. It was beautiful, and I did take videos, so I will be putting videos of that up there. But I mean, we spent a lot of time just sitting up there. We were sitting on a bench for a long time.
Peaceful.
It was so peaceful. So many people were out there. People brought their dogs up in the tram, so you can take your dogs. So the dogs were out there. I mean, families were there.
People were like doing laps. People were playing really in the middle park.
But I loved how you can kind of look over the entire city, and then you see the water, everything. It was really, really cool. We liked that a lot. This wasn't the place where we did the carts, right? The little carts.
It was not. No,
okay,
that was a different country.
Okay.
It's
hard to keep like, because we always like to take little trams up the mountainside, so it's hard to keep track of which ones were which. But I just remember this one in general. I really enjoyed just sitting in the park and just having that peace and quiet. It was awesome. It was really great.
For the last thing to wrap up, because we don't want this video to be too long, I would say if we were to ever move somewhere in Spain, it would be northern Spain. I don't know if it'd be like a Oviedo Gijón, which we'll do a separate video on. I think it'd probably be Bilbao, just because like because it's one of the bigger cities up there, even though it's smaller than Valencia. It has so much more things, like activities for our kids to do. Like our kids do football, basketball, swim, art, flamenco, just so many things that like you don't have as many options in Oviedo.
But even more schools in general too, because a lot of the places they don't have a lot of schools, and with 4 kids to find 4 places is almost impossible. And we couldn't even do it here for the first how many years?
First 2 years, Year 3 finally.
We finally have all of our kids
everyone in one school.
So I think even then, for a larger family, I would prefer Bilbao. A
little bit bigger expat community, you know. But the big thing I want to mention there is the rain, as I kind of mentioned in the beginning. Rain and safety. So one, it is actually shocking how safe I feel in Valencia. Again, coming from the US, we'll let our kids go to like the corner market, you know, a block over. Our kids, our oldest is, you know, in middle school now. She will walk herself to art, you know, probably like a 5-10 minute walk across a couple blocks and stuff from our son's football field to art and back.
But still, in the city center.
In the city center, yeah.
Never do that.
Yeah, in the
That
States,
call.
we just wouldn't have done it.
No.
So Valencia, again, I can't describe to you how safe we feel. We try not to like take it for granted, but like we do feel safe here.
Yeah.
In Bilbao, you know, you're going to hear these things like it's not as safe and stuff like that. And there's probably one street, I'm not going to mention it. People like, if you Google it, you'll know. There's like kind of one street you kind of avoid in Bilbao. We got close to that street and yeah, it looked a little sketchy, but like, I'm not trying to put down Cleveland or Detroit because I think they've come a long way. It's not the same.
Again, Cleveland is where I'm from.
Yeah, Cleveland
so
is from. Yeah. Yeah.
very much experience with Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah.
I've been there.
It's not the same. Like there's just no way to put it. So like Bilbao, I probably felt 90% as safe as Valencia.
Yeah.
You know, I might have felt actually unsafer in parts of like Barcelona. I thought actually than parts of Bilbao, if I'm being completely honest. And if you look at the crime statistics, it's pretty close. It's more like petty theft, right? They steal stuff. They take things out of your car.
But I think
right?
Bilbao had this problem. I think our dentist was telling us this. Like, was it in the 80s or something?
Yeah,
I
like
think
the car bombings and stuff.
I think there were some issues like back then, and so now people have this thought of like Bilbao not being as safe, which I know it had this major turnaround. But I mean, obviously you can Google the history on that. But it's like for us, I didn't see the issue.
Compared to a U.S. city, it's not the same.
Not even close.
Compared to maybe the safest cities in Spain, sure, I could see how they feel a little different.
Yeah.
But I would say I felt 85-90% as safe, you know, kind of in Bilbao as I do in Valencia. And we feel very safe in Valencia. Again, you still see women walking at night through the city center in Bilbao. You see kids on the bus alone. So it's still, you know, similar things. Maybe not completely the same, but still similar. Then to wrap it up, I know I said I was going to wrap it up. The rain, okay? To Spaniards, and this is not to put down any Spaniards, they make it sound like it's the apocalypse with how much it rains up there.
They actually do.
Yeah, they make it seem like, how can you stand it? Like, anyone from Ireland or UK, you're going to get less rain. Straight up. Amsterdam, you're going to get less rain.
And better weather.
And better weather. The way, I'm obviously being from Hawaii, being from Hilo, I don't know if we still have the title, but we were like rainiest city of like America, in like all of America. Like so much, like sheer amount of rainfall on my side of the island. I think, I can't remember, I looked this up. I want to say it has less rain than like Seattle and Portland, and more sunny skies as well. But like, it's not a terrible comparison, basically. You're not going to get as much gray as Portland. Again, my brother's in Portland, so I kind of know how gray it is there. You're going to get more sun and a little less rain. But like Seattle, Portland, maybe even a little bit less than that. That's kind of what we've kind of been described the rain is like, especially from other expats from the U.S. who have moved there.
But even then, they did say, it rains. Because remember we were talking to a family up there.
Yep.
It rains almost every day or whatever it is, every other day. But it's for very short times. And every now and then you get your storms that last a couple of days. I mean, anywhere you get that. But still, it's a very even like an hour or two a day and then it's gone. But that still counts as a rainy day.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's that bad, and I guess if you want green and lush, you have to have rain.
Yeah, it has to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think that, again, if you're coming from the States, think something, you know, not as rainy as Portland or Seattle, a little less than that, you know, a little bit nicer weather, but it's not going to sound like the apocalypse, like when you talk to Spaniards. If
like
you're from the UK or
rainforest.
Ireland, it's going to be better weather.
Yeah.
There's just no way it's even the same. Yeah, so... Netherlands again is another one. So just again, keep that in mind if you want to explore the north. The summers are great. There's really not that much rain, and the heat is so much more tolerable.
It's not as humid.
Yeah. So again, if there was summer we were ever to consider in Spain, it probably would be Bilbao. We loved it. Again, Oviedo and Gijón are great as well. We'll talk about that in another video. But to kind of wrap it up. Absolutely loved our trip. We only spent about 4 days there, but had a great trip. Yeah, had a solo trip with our oldest daughter, and we'll take the whole family back sometime. So I guess we'll see you in our next video.
Adios.
Adios.